let's solve the problem, right? So the problem is finding the volume of the solid generated by revolving the region bounded by these two curves about y is equal to 1, right? So the first thing we want to do is to graph and see what happens there. So if I graph them, here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis, and let's just say this is the line y is equal to 1, right? And the curve is f of x is equal to root x. It's gonna go something like that. It's gonna go something like that. And x squared is gonna go something like this. Let's say the point of intersection is going to be 1, right? So it's going to go down all the way here, right? And we are rotating this along because y equals 1 this way. And so therefore it's going to be rotated as what? It is going to be from here, it's going to go down like that. And then it is going to go down like that, right? And we are going to have the rotation something like that. And then the rotation there, right? So here's the generic piece that we are dealing with into the region. Let's take a generic piece off of this. Let's see, it is going to be something like that, right? Right? Now we need to know the, so we are using, we're going to use the disk method. In this case, it's a washer method, right? So it's a washer method. So if I use the washer method, my lower radius is going to be, inner radius is going to be this one. Outer radius is going to be this guy, right? So how much is this one? So this would be this whole thing minus this thing, right? And this whole thing is 1, right? And this lower thing is root x, right? That's the function. So this whole thing is going to be then 1 minus root x. You agree?
Yes.
Similarly, if I do it for this guy right here, this outer radius, right, is going to be that right there, which is this whole thing minus that thing, and this whole thing is 1, and this is x squared. So therefore this would be, so this whole thing would be then 1 minus x squared, correct? Okay, so we got the outer radius and the inner radius. So the outer radius is, I'm going to say small r of x is that guy right there, and that's inner radius. The outer radius is capital R of x is that guy right there, right? You agree with me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So therefore the volume for this would be, so that's your step number 2. We figure out the R of x, the capital R of x, and small r of x. And so therefore the step number 3, let's plug it into the volume formula. Step number 3, the volume is what? Pi integral,
A to B, which is 0 to 1.
very good, capital R squared minus small r squared. We are integrating this along the x-axis, so it's going to be dx, right?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And so here, if I plug in, what do I get? 0 to 1, 1 minus x squared, the whole squared, minus 1 minus root x, the whole squared, dx, right? Yes, right.
Yes, sir.
And now if I continue this, I'm going to have the pi. Thank you.
That's my second answer.
Okay. And so therefore this is going to be pi integral, if I simplify this, it's going to be 1 minus 2x squared plus x to the 4 minus 1 minus 2 root x plus x dx. Why, yes, but I have not distributed it yet,
Okay.
right? Without the distribution. So let's see what are things that are going to cancel. I can cancel the 1 and 1. And that's all I can do. There's nothing else I can be done. So what I have is I have then integral pi times integral 0 to 1. Let's go from the higher power to the lower power. So it's going to be x to the 4 minus 2x squared plus x minus is minus, that's a minus x. If you distribute, it's a minus x. Then we have plus 2 root x dx, right? We distribute these powers to here, it's going to be a plus and it's going to be a minus there, right? So that's why we have minus x right here. Then we have a plus 2x right there. Is everyone okay? Right? Okay, now if I continue this furthermore, that's easy to integrate now. So it's going to be pi times x to the 5 over 5 minus 2 times x cubed over 3 minus x squared over 2 plus 2 times x to the 3/2 times 2/3 and 0 to 1. Of course, when I apply the lower limit, they all have x, 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 so the lower limit is going to give you nothing, right? It's all going to be that, so we don't need to worry about it. So the only thing that matters is the upper limit, so the whole thing is going to be then pi times 1 over 5 minus 2 over 3 minus 1 over 2 plus 4 over 3. I'm going to say minus 0, minus 0, minus 0, plus 0, so the whole thing is 0 anyway, right? And if you do that, what do we get? We get pi times, the common denominator is 15, and I have a 3 minus 10. No, it's not 15, the common denominator is actually 30 as a matter of fact. So it's going to be, that's how much is that? That's 5, that's times 6, so it's going to be 6. And that is 20. And that is 15. And this is 40. And the whole thing is what?
11 over 30.
11 over 30. Pi is the answer for this problem. And that is how we would solve this guy right here. The answer is the volume is equal to 11 pi over 30 right there. Are we good? Any questions?